All right, by this point you have completed the training videos here, which is awesome. I hope you have a really good understanding of what we're trying to accomplish here. Well, in fact, what are we trying to accomplish here, Rob?
I think the biggest thing, like I said, from a financial standpoint, is making sure we're hitting jobs on time, under budget, okay? We're doing a great job of also preparing you guys to have skills that go beyond the work. So from my perspective, those would probably be the biggest things, just saying, hey, we are making enough money to where you guys have a future financially. This is something that's very exciting for you for years to come, decades preferably.
Yeah.
And then on top of just the financial, it's saying, hey, how you do anything's how you do everything. Now you know and take care of this aspect of your life, and so now you're going to use that same care to take care of your family, to take care of your friends, to take care of your extracurriculars, your church, things like that, so that you can just be a better human all around. And it might not seem like a big deal to, oh, how I treat my machine is how I treat everything else, but I promise you it will bleed into everything in your life. And so for me, that's probably the biggest, is making sure that we've got really attentive and good operators who are helping us accomplish this mission of coming in on time, on budget, and really that it allows us to expand as well and get into more jobs, which is more retirement money for you, more excitement for you, just a better life. So I think that's how I would sum it up.
I think it's well said. I won't even really add much to that. So essentially you've gone through these trainings, you have a really good understanding of what we're trying to accomplish here. Now you're going to get your own operator code. So every machine has essentially a security system code that you need to be able to operate. And once you have that, you can now operate, and essentially that will be given to you. And what that does is it logs your hours. So let's just say if you worked 500 hours on this machine, like we'll be able to attach that time code to you. Let's just say you worked 500 hours and 100 of those were idle time, right? So now we can give you the feedback and say, hey, you worked this many hours, but then there was this many of idle hours. Let's see if we can cut down on that, because the machine's value is now worth how many hours it has. So we can lose literally, $50,000 on a machine if it has, let's just say 10,000 idle hours and 2,000 operating hours. Like that's a big problem.
Yeah, 12,000 hours is 12,000 hours. They don't know the difference. If we went to purchase a machine, we wouldn't know the difference.
Exactly.
I think the other thing that's really cool about having your own code is tracking is what really makes you better in life. If you want to lose weight, you can track calories, you can track your workouts. If you want to gain more money in your bank account at the end of the day, you track your spending, you track your earnings. And so this, what it does for us, it helps us from the top down to track how you're performing and how effective you're being. But again, on your end, it keeps you accountable too. And again, hopefully that goes into every part of your life. And you can say, okay, yeah, but just know, yes, you are under the microscope, right? These codes are going to help us to know how you're performing and how you're doing. And it's not 100% just about the money. There's a lot of it that, yes, we do want to make sure we're being smart financially, but some of it too is just for us to be able to help you improve.
Yep. And I might even add too, like it helps us bid. So it's like, hey, we know you've spent, 10,000 hours in a machine. It's like, hey, we know we have a very competent operator. Let's go win this job. And that's a huge deal, because we have 10 operators that we feel very confident that we can do this job, versus like, okay, everyone's about 1,000 hours in. It's like, I don't know if we can take this job on yet, right? And that job could be the difference between, massive success for us as a company.
Dude, and it helps our bidding as well, where we can say, we know that this operator can do this exact job in 100 hours we've seen.
Exactly, because you can hit record. Hey, we might even ask you, record, every time you're in the machine, hit record, and it will count how much time you spent per job, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. And so any similar sized job, we can say it takes this many hours at this cost per hour. We can do it at this price. We nail our bid, and we can come in under other bids and still be really competitive, knowing our numbers, where other guys have to just throw a Hail Mary and pray that it covers the cost. 100%. So we won't be losing money. We can walk away from bids we know we'll lose money, and we can win bids being really competent. So it will be huge to have this tracking. We appreciate you guys being willing to plug in those codes.
So take in the extra time, like just to do the small things, right? It's the small things that lead to huge wins for us. We've talked about the 1% earlier in some of these other training videos, and just being 1% better. So I want to kind of talk about one last thing with those codes, is that like, hey, let's just say you have a fault code go off. We can track and say, hey, okay, this was the code that went off during your time. Hey, it went off in this guy's time. We can now start tracking errors or things that happen. Or if you're like, hey, this happened, but it didn't come back, like we can find that. So that's kind of how that works. Don't share that code with other people, because people will log into your thing and give us inaccurate data. things like that, so.
Especially if you're the best, you don't want the worst using your code, or else it's gonna bring down your averages and your metric will go down. Your effectiveness will look worse, so that's great.
We've got, yeah, this last quote that Casey shared with us, so.
Yeah, we're gonna give Casey this credit, so thanks, dude. And it says the longevity of a company depends on the longevity of its people and its assets. I mean, we really enjoyed that, so we wanted to share that as a final thought. Take care of the equipment. I mean, this is obviously going to take care of you in the long run, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, but we prioritize people, not things. Okay, it's really important that you learn in life that you value and prioritize people over things. People things are to be used, people are to be loved, okay? And so we really feel that way. If you can take care of the people and the assets in this job, you will love this job for forever, and it'll be really good to you. And so that's probably how I would, put that. And
Yeah.
got final words.
Exactly. So if you have any questions, comments, or even suggestions on what we should be putting in these training videos or anything like that, feel free to reach out to Ian, to your supervisor, to anyone, and we would be happy to answer those questions and take those suggestions and improve and become better. That's pretty much all I've got for us. So thank you for your time and thank you for your dedication.
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits.